All right, we'll go ahead and call the Wednesday, April 10th Board of Public Works and Safety to order. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call. Carol Sue, please.
Mayor Franklin.
Here.
Chris Armstrong.
Here.
Ron Miller.
Present.
All members present accounted for. Approval of the minutes, April 3rd, 2013 meeting.
I've read them, and I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the April 3rd meeting as presented.
Second. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Approval of claims in the amount of $270,608.31.
I have read them, and I'd make a motion that we approve the claims in the amount of $270,608.31 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. There are no licenses for consideration today. Are there any changes to the agenda?
No.
Hearing none. Are there any visitor comments? All right, hearing none. Under old business, I believe this will be a code enforcement issue, 423 Tangy Street.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Your Honor, 423 Tangy Street is the one with where they had cut down a tree 2 weeks ago when Deborah Thompson's son, Levi Thompson, was here. He stated that he cut the tree down quite some time ago and had just never gotten around to cleaning it up. Dan Williams went over past there this morning. You had told him if they got the tree out by the alley that we would clean it up, haul it away. They did get what they had cut up out by the alley. However, the tree trunk is about 4 foot tall. It's rotten, and they left that stand there.
Everything that's been cut is down, though?
Everything that's been cut is down.
And out to the alley, or is it already hauled away?
The rotten tree trunk is still standing.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'll leave it to the board what they wish to do with it.
If the tree trunk is still standing, I'm not sure as to the condition. I mean, if it's rotten, yes, it probably isn't going to be a hazard. I don't know what they have planned for that. I would make the motion that we accept this cleanup and call it complete.
Second.
All right, this one is cleared. 423 Tangy Street is cleared. 516 East Linden Avenue.
Your Honor, I would ask for 1 more week for 2 more weeks for 516 East Linden. I had that down as the wrong week for reappearance. That was my fault. I will take responsibility of that. I don't know the condition of that property.
Okay, 516 East Linden is extended for 2 more weeks. Please get on top of that one. Let us know, preferably next week, what progress is made, and let us know so we can deal with it appropriately. 1812 George Street.
1812 George Street, Your Honor. I gave you pictures. I apologize if they're kind of dark, but I took these pictures on my way to work this morning. The only obvious progress that Mr. Baxter has made on that is he did remove the hot tub from his neighbor's garage, cut it up, and set it by the alley. Other than that, the 2 round metal water heater type things are still in the backyard. All the swimming pool fencing, scrap metal and stuff like that still in the backyard.
Okay, I think judging by the photographs and your testimony already, and remembering quite well having Mr. Baxter here 2 weeks ago, I would make the motion that we order a property cleanup at 1812 George Street.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Is there anybody here representing Mr. Baxter or Lori Galbranson? All right. It's been moved and properly seconded to order a property cleanup at 1812 George Street. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It passes on a vote of 3-0. Under new business, I have a request here from the Cass County Arts Alliance. Is there anybody here representing the Cass County Arts Alliance? All right. This request goes on to say that the Cass County Arts Alliance, I believe it's Cass County Arts Alliance. It's described as CCAA, but for the record, I believe it's Cass County Arts Alliance. Would like to request a road closure for June 7th and 8th, 2013 for Melbourne Street from 3rd to 5th and 4th Street from Market to Melbourne for the Med-Florey Security Federal Jazz and Blues Festival. It goes on to say that he will get barricades from the street department. Times for the closing would be on 8 a.m. on Friday, June 7th. That's when the tents would start to arrive until June 9th. They'll try to get the street reopened before that if they could. We need to come back in the morning to clean up on Sunday, 6/9, to make sure the street's clear and safe. If these times are okay with the city, please let me know, and thank you for your help. I would make a motion that we table this for 2 weeks. I think it still gives them plenty of time. It will be April 23rd, 24th in that time frame to give them approval. But we need to make sure that they understand they need to provide a certificate of insurance for the city,
I already told you.
even though it's not here. And also just for clarification and understanding as to what they're asking for. So that is in the form of a motion.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded to postpone this decision for 2 weeks. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Tabled for 2 weeks. We have Mark Strong that is requesting approval of our new hire for 2 firefighters, Michael Ott and Jeremy Sterrett. We have first on the agenda Michael Ott. Mark, if you would take it away.
As you know, Your Honor, we're short on the fire department right now. I'd like to request the approval to hire Michael Ott as a probationary fireman. Michael's a 32-year-old resident of Cass County, 1999 graduate of Logansport High School. He's married to Carly, has 3 daughters, lives here in Cass County. He has over 12 years experience as a firefighter and has been on the Monticello Fire Department since 2004. He's very highly trained, one of the highest trained guys we've been able to acquire in a long time. He's already a firefighter 1 and 2, officer 1, instructor 1, rope rescue technician, swiftwater rescue technician, vehicle machine rescue technician. He's a paramedic. I could keep going on and on. He's got all kinds of certificates. These are just the highlights. He would fill our 30th position on the fire department, and I'd like to approval to hire Michael.
Is there any questions for the chief? I'd make the motion that we approve the hiring of Michael Ott as a probationary member of the Logansport Fire Department.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. You also have another request.
Yes, Jeremy Sterrett. Michael is here today, by the way, and can be sworn in after we're done. Jeremy, they just found out a few days ago they were hired, and Jeremy's working today. But Jeremy's a 22-year-old resident of Carroll County. He's a former Eagle Scout, a 2009 graduate of Delphi High School, and a 2011 graduate of Ivy Tech. Jeremy has 8 years experience as a firefighter, starting out as a cadet program at the Delphi Fire Department, then becoming a full-time member in 2009. He's certified as a firefighter 1 and 2, hazmat, first responder, operations level, and he's an EMT. Jeremy would fill our 29th position. Either way, it fell, but he would be starting this Friday, April 12th, and I forgot to say Michael would be starting Monday.
Okay. I understand that Mr. Sterrett intends to move to Logansport.
Yes, he does. And he's within being in Carroll County and adjoining county, so he's okay for right now, but he does plan on, he actually is a full-time maintenance man at Camp Tecumseh over there and does stuff at the burn camp and everything else, so he actually lives at the camp, so he would be getting a resident. Plans on moving to actually into Logansport if he can.
Okay. Is there any questions for the chief regarding the hiring of Jeremy Sterrett?
I have none.
I'd make the motion that we approve the hiring of Jeremy Sterrett.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, pass it on a vote of 3-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Under reports, we have building commissioner.
Good morning, everyone. I had submitted my report for your review. If we have any questions on that, I certainly take any questions. As a new business piece, we did hear back from the Army Corps of Engineers in reference to the wall repair on the river side of the property at 207 and 211 East Linden. They have approved all the submittals, and as it turns out, there is no permit required to the Army Corps of Engineers because we're not entering into the flow line of the river, so they don't require a permit process. But they have reviewed everything that we proposed to do and concur with our repair process. And as I said, we are scheduled to be in there doing that work sometime next week is what we're projecting at this point in time.
So the cleanup's already done, it's just the wall?
Yes, yeah, we've gone in and we've cleaned up the structure and put a fence around the area 2 weeks ago, I believe it was.
Thank you.
Okay, as usual, good work. It's easy to understand. I make the motion we accept the building commissioners, we approve the building commissioners report as presented. It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, pass it on a vote of 3-0. Code enforcement officer.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have in front of you a copy of my report this week. There was nobody ordered to appear, reference new violations. If you have any questions, I'll entertain them at this time.
No question.
No questions. All right, I would make the motion that we approve the code enforcement officer's report as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, passes on a vote of 3-0. Thank you. Superintendent of Public Works.
Good morning.
Hi, Dan.
I respectively submit my report for your review at this time. Hopefully you have a little time before the meeting to go through that, and I'd be glad to answer any questions, comments.
How long does it take for you to make the first complete round around the city with the street sweep?
It'll take us all week. That's
1
8
week?
Yeah, we have different parts and different routes that we do. It takes us 8 hours a day, five days a week.
So it takes about 40 hours.
40 hours, yes, sir.
When you're operating the street sweeper, I know that you pick up debris and then you dump it. Do you have any idea how many loads you actually dump?
I don't, but we do keep track of that. That's done yearly on, when we turn in our yearly report to you, that would be on that report.
Of street sweeper
Yes.
sweepings?
Yes.
One of my neighbors swept up around his house over the weekend, and I noticed 3 very large piles of salt and sand that he had swept up, and
those are gone.
they are gone.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I knew you would be on it. But no, it just made me
You
start.
get that, Carol, Sue?
It made me start thinking. I see obviously your activity all winter when you're putting salt and sand down, and I don't know how many loads of salt and sand you put down, but I'm wondering how many of them you pick up in the spring, and then what happens to the rest of it. It goes down the sewer, I'm sure, a lot, the storm drains, and the salt melts, so that
Yes.
takes care of some of it too. But just curious if you...
Yep.
If you
And all of that is in our yearly report to you.
Okay. I make a motion that we accept the report of the Superintendent of Public Works as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes
Thank
on a
you.
vote of 3-0. Thank you. Chief Clark is not here today. He submitted his report last month. Chief Strong, do you have a monthly report?
We did have 2 fires this week I just wanted to report on. We had one on the early morning of Saturday morning, and guys did a really good job, knocked it down pretty quick. It was kind of a hard house because it was actually in the alleyway, which makes it a little bit tougher. And then later on that day, we had one at over on Linden Avenue that ended up being a very, very large meth lab, and the guys are the ones that discovered it. Really hot fire, of course, intensified by the ingredients of the meth lab. So guys did a really good job, and I'm proud of them. Just like to state that.
All right. Make the motion that we accept the chief's verbal report. Will we have your written report next week?
Yeah, the monthly report.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, passes on a vote of 3-0. Are there any board member comments? Miscellaneous business, including matters not already considered. Mr. Homburg.
I'm sorry.
Great.
Our contractor has started over on the south side of town, the sewer project.
I saw that big retention pond going in over there.
We're getting a little close to Donahue Street.
Uh-huh.
The limestone rock was supposed to be up higher according to our drillings, but they were just hitting boulders.
I saw the boulders laying there.
Yeah. So now, instead of 10 foot down, there's limestone. It's about 20 foot down, there's limestone. So now we have these walls of rock, gravel, dirt that we thought were going to be limestone walls. Now they've got to be laid back, okay, so that they can get their forms in there to build a wall. They're building 600,000-700,000 gallon tank, concrete tank there that the sewage will come down Cliff Drive, flow into that, and then get pumped under the river to the sewage plant. Okay. So we're here today to see if we could close that portion of Donahue Street where this tank is going in, because they have to lay the walls back so much. I guess the only problem I see with that is when our second contractor starts, he's going to be in Cliff Drive. All right. Donahue swings around, comes back out to Michael Street. Mm-hmm. So you got a horseshoe. We're cutting off part of the horseshoe for those people to get out.
Would be cut off permanently?
No.
This is a temporary closure you're asking
before
for.
Super X gets to Michael Street, if you will, once they're digging 30 foot deep, 35 foot deep in Cliff Drive, Michael Street and Cliff Drive intersection will be closed down. I can't have both of those intersections closed at the same time of that horseshoe.
Yeah.
So we will have to open Donahue back up when they get to Michael Street.
So this is a temporary closure. Donahue, Michael, and Cliff Drive would all be returned to full function at the end of the project.
During this time, obviously, Cliff Drive is going to be, you have to go either east or west. You know what I'm saying? That if you come off Burlington Avenue, you won't be able to drive to Cypress Street because there's going to be a 30-plus deep hole trench in Cliff Drive.
Temporarily. Yeah. How long is that going to take?
They're hoping less than 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
I see what looks to be an overhead with the view of that. Can we take a look at that and maybe have a little better explanation where we can all see? And there's a very large hole in the ground right about here right now, correct?
Getting really close to Donahue Street. It's just really,
Right, so it doesn't affect access to this home, it doesn't affect access, they still have access.
But you just don't have to take the long way around to get in and out.
Now, this one probably won't have any
No one
effect on it
lives in
whatsoever.
that house right now.
This,
Nobody.
Nobody.
this is vacant.
I did hear that somebody was moving.
But they're going to move in May. In the Marion Hayes old house.
So, but this would just be a temporary closure, this would be a temporary closure.
Yes.
And then how are we going to end up screening the retention pond? Is it going to be open? Is there going to be a fence around it?
We'll have a poured concrete ceiling on it and dirt back on top of it.
Oh, we'll have a ceiling.
You won't really even know it's there.
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the 4-week closure, is that for each of the closures or totals?
4 months.
Or 4 months, excuse me.
4 month is going to be temporary Donahue and moving along on Cliff Drive.
So beginning at day 1 and ending at day 4 months, that's, one of those 3 cuts will be closed.
Yes,
They're not- okay.
yes.
And eventually they're going to be out here.
They go from there to Poor Boys, if you know where Poor Boys
Uh-huh.
is at, underneath the railroad viaduct there on Cliff
Oh,
Drive.
so they pump it down and then across,
Right,
and then back down the other side of the river.
right. Yes. So this is work to come. They're at the point, I don't know if you need a decision today to close Donahue, but
Well, it's the
pretty soon.
public safety side of it that,
Yeah.
the quicker we could have that
Do
shut
they
off,
provide any type
the
of
better
advance
we're gonna feel.
notice to those people that it's going to be?
It's your question.
Do you provide advance notice to the houses in that
That's
area?
one thing we want to do, at least go through, and I want to knock on doors with one of their guys and tell them that, so pending contact with everybody.
Will this help alleviate problems with Goose Creek flooding?
Yes, this project,
Is for Goose Creek flooding, is it not?
yes. Well, let me just back that up. It will not do anything with Goose Creek flooding. It will have a lot to do with the Schultz cleaning area,
Uh-huh.
manhole overflows.
Okay.
Will not happen anymore.
Which sort of is the same thing.
Yes.
When
When the creek comes up, the
Yeah, I've seen the
manholes
manhole
overflow too.
covers come off and
Yeah,
flood
that's
out, and
not
it
good.
runs over to Goose Creek. And it
Yeah.
seems to be a violent circle where they just keep doing this.
Yes, it is. And this,
It should help.
I think, will totally eliminate that from ever happening again.
Okay, well, in the name, I'm sorry, Dan Williams?
Yes. I visited the site, and it's not impossible. I like to keep the streets open. There's no way to get if something would happen back there. There's no way to get a fire truck through, no way to get a trash truck through. Jerry and I talked about this, and I think there's adequate land if we line that with concrete barricades so it would not be a safety problem and you wouldn't have to close the street. That's just one option. You feel like from the safety point, but we have to address letting the trash trucks get back there, or the homeowner, if something happens, emergency response, they get back there. If you line concrete barricades up, only you don't have to worry about anybody pulling over in that.
We can still get in from this way to this house. And this one is nearly right on Cliff Drive.
Yeah, if there's a fire at this house, here's another problem with this. We're making a new bore under the railroad, okay, and it's basically going to come off to the end of Howard and Plenty here, under the railroad, and then it'll come down, and we will remove Donahue Street then, so that road will be gone, and then it will come back, but there's obviously not going to be anybody able to drive back this section here.
From Donahue, or from Cliff Drive.
Right, within a couple months.
And then you put Donahue Street back.
Right, it
to-
comes back all brand new, yeah. Yeah. Flow has to come down and come into here, and then also to get rid of this problem over here, we're coming in the back door too into that new station. So I don't know who owns this grass lot, if there's a possibility of making a gravel road across here. You know what I mean? So I don't know even about getting a dang fire truck around this loop to get to it.
That's a concern.
That's,
Have you? Okay.
you can do it?
I can. Mark Strong.
Mark, yeah.
Can they get the trash truck through there? Because
I know they can get it down there, then they're gonna probably have to turn around in the driveway to get out.
You've been back in here with the truck. Ted says he's driven it every day.
Many.
He knows.
Many times.
He's a south sider, right? Yeah. I thought about making a gravel road across here. I don't know who owns this lot here. This is a rental. So I don't
Do you
know.
have any idea when the abandonment of the current Donahue Street's going to take place?
Peeneman would like to do it right away so that they can get in there and get their jackhammer going and get the walls built. They're there for the taking.
Yeah.
Whoever wants it.
Okay, that's, questions,
As long as we can get safety equipment in there,
safety and trash.
Mhm.
And if we have to, we'll send the fire department over there in a pickup truck and pick up the trash and bring it out.
Okay.
No, I'm very familiar with it. I've driven a truck through there a dozen times. Right. Yeah, which is okay.
And is this a paved driveway, do you know? In other
I think
words-
it's gravel.
Okay, I was gonna say, if you got these big trash trucks on it, they'll probably break it up.
It's just gravel. Or- Do you have anything else you'd like to add? Anything else you'd like to add? Any other questions?
Anything else you want to add to that? No, I don't believe so. Just
Okay,
that part of town is going to be tore up for a while.
all right. With all due respect to the street department, in the name of progress, I know this is going to be, it's going to greatly help out the south side. If we have to make special accommodations with the home there on Donahue Street that's right in the S curve, we'll just have to do it, whatever that may be. To get, make special arrangements to maybe get their trash over here onto Michael Street, we'll do what we have to do. That may be something that we would ask your folks. It's like maybe pull the toter over. May take 15 minutes once a week to do that, but it may be what we have to do. But in the name of progress, I'd make the motion that we allow the closure of Donahue Street at the two locations that are indicated on this map, just with the condition being that every home have access at all times without, with vehicle traffic.
Second.
And I would second that. And then just a point of clarification, there's also a closure of Cliff Drive in this proposal?
Cliff Drive will have a moving closure. You will always be able to go east or west.
Yeah.
But half of
Okay.
it will be closed.
They will fill the whole back up at the end of each day.
Mm-hmm.
So as it progresses to the east,
Yeah.
The whole moves with it.
Yeah, so we won't be closing that one. We'll still have access to emergency vehicles. They'll be able to get
Right.
through, but it'll be one
We'll
lane.
have to let them know each day, you can come to 515 from the east.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yeah.
Hearing no further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Pass on a vote of 3-0. All right. Thank you. I'll give her.
Do we need to wait for a notice?
Yeah.
Property owner?
Knock on the doors, Terry. Let
Yeah,
them know.
till I get over there later. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I
Okay,
would add
thank
one
you.
thing, Ted.
I'm sorry, yes.
One more thing. I just wanted to say that of Michael Ott's qualifications, that he was also a star 11-year-old catcher on my state champion Bambino Babe Ruth team.
Fantastic.
Okay.
I'm so glad to know that.
Yep.
Is there any other miscellaneous business, including matters not already considered? All right, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.